My name is Mateo Hernandez, and this is my mask improvement project. So the first step was finding out what was wrong. So we built what the quote-unquote competition was going to be, which was a CDC mask. So as you can see here, I constructed the CDC mask according to the steps. So yeah, the next step was finding out all the issues and everything that I can improve on. So these are the top four common things I got from asking my family members. Number one was it was too thick. The material was really thick, using a whole shirt, and then most of the shirts we wear are cloth and cotton and things that are really thick, so breathability was definitely an issue. The loops that were rubber bands, most of the rubber bands we were using were like work office desks, those really thin ones, and they like slap against the back of your ear whenever you try to put them on, so that was an issue. The size, my dad's a pretty big dude, and then I have a 6-year-old brother, so the range in size was absolutely enormous. So what fit him would never fit my brother, and what fit my brother would never fit my dad. So that was an issue as well. And then durability, it doesn't, as you can see in the picture, it doesn't look very stable. If you just dropped it or only grabbed it from one side, it would simply just fall apart completely. So those were the top 4 issues. Now that I knew what the top 4 issues was, I implemented and came up with ideas of how to improve each and every single one. And now on to construction. Okay, so the first step in creating this new mask will be finding a material that's specifically like dry fit or swimming gear, more breathable material. So I found this shirt, but also a lot of athletic shorts that are like this type. They work really well because they're really thin and breathable. And so what you're first going to do is you're going to cut a piece out that's roughly 8 inches by 4 or 5 inches, and that is the first step. And once you have that cut out, then we can move on. The second step, now that you have your 8x5 or 8x4 cut out, is you're gonna want to adjust it to whatever size. So if you're doing it for a smaller person, maybe bring it in 1 inch on each side, about 1 inch on each side, and then 1 inch for this as well, kind of like this, cutting down on the size. If it's a larger person, such as an adult, maybe don't bring it in at all. Maybe this is a perfect size, or maybe 1/2 inch on each side, but just adjust it to where it's perfect to the person who's gonna wear it. So that is the second step. And you will use electrical tape. Electrical tape works really well. It's also comfortable as well. So that's probably the best option. But if you have Scotch tape or duct tape, it doesn't really matter. But that's the second step. Now that this is all taped up and you have it perfectly lined in size, you're going to set it to the side, and the third step is going to be the rubber bands. And since a big complaint was it being uncomfortable, I'm going to be using some thicker rubber bands, which are more comfortable and they stretch more. And to make sure they're even more comfortable, we're going to wrap them up in electrical tape or the whatever tape you used to further cushion it. And that will be the third step. Now that you have completed taping these, which all you were supposed to do was just go along following the rubber band and then just fold the sides in. Now that you have these two taped in, you're going to take your mask and you will just use a stapler to staple these to the side. That is the next step. Now that you've stapled these, now the mask is ready for use. You can use a couple staples or a lot of staples, as many as you need that are secure. I use about 3 on each side, but yeah, it's ready to go now. To prove the versatility of this mask, I made the folds about 1 inch in on every single side, on the right and left and the top and the bottom. So it'll fit my 6-year-old brother. Of course, you can always manipulate the folds to where it can fit an adult or a baby or whoever you need it to fit. But as you can see, the loops they're stretchy, and they're also not going to like slap the back of your ear, which was a major complaint with the CDC mask. And it's comfortable. It's also more breathable, as material is like way thinner than using an entire shirt. And I improved in all the aspects that I wanted to improve on as well. It also covers his nose, and it's also not hanging all the way down because it's too big. It's just the perfect size. It's breathable, stretchy, and comfortable. These are the two final products side by side. As you can tell, there's a big difference in size. One is the new mask is clearly thinner, and the loops are also wrapped in tape. Moving on, these are the facts. The benchmarks for the CDC mask, bringing up the most common issues. It was about 1 inch to 1 1/4 of an inch thick, depending on the size of the shirt you were using to make it. The expansion of the thin rubber bands were about 1.5 feet, and they were also pretty uncomfortable just for the fact that they kept slapping up against the back of your ear whenever you went to put on or take off the mask. Breathability was rated a 5 out of 10 by my family members as I went around and asked each one, and they tried it on. Now, the new mask, since it was made of dry fit material, and it was only made of one side of the shirt instead of both the front and the back, because I cut that out, was about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. It was actually a huge improvement from 1.25 inches. Moving on to the bands, it was the thicker rubber bands expanded to about 2 feet and were way more comfortable as they were wrapped in electrical tape that is pretty comfy. Breathability, since it was dry fit and extremely thin, it was rated a 9 out of 10 by my brother, who was the guinea pig. Yeah, overall, I improved on everything I wanted to. I think it looks much better. It performs better, and it did what it was supposed to do. It was also very cheap, as I didn't even have to leave the house or buy any extra materials. A stapler you can definitely find inside your house. Tape doesn't even have to be electrical tape. Any type of tape. Rubber bands, and a dry fit shirt, or any athletic shorts, which I'm sure everyone at least has one pair. So it was very accessible. It did what it was supposed to do. It was good at what it was supposed to do. So I think overall I did a really good job. That is all. Thank you.